You don't have a money problem. You have a strategy problem. And until your strategy changes, your financial results won't. And tonight, we're going to fix that. You ready to talk about it? Let's go.
Here we go! Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, let's go!
Welcome to the Prosperity Table. I am the Nicole Johnson, and this is where serious women sharpen strategy, build confidence, and reclaim control. And then we engineer our increase. Are you ready for that? Listen, tonight we're talking about how to stop budgeting and start building wealth. Before we go any further tonight, I want you to do something for me. I want you to answer in the comments and be honest about the question that I'm about to ask. Are you managing money or are you building wealth? Go ahead. It's okay. This is a very safe space to be honest. And if you're not doing exactly what you want to be doing, then what are you doing? Sounds like a tongue twister, right? Listen, if you're typing managing, it's okay. But if you're typing building, that's wonderful because you can go from managing from building, and building you can get better at. But if you're somewhere in between, I want you to say that as well because there's no judgment at this table. But here's the truth. And the moment that you tell yourself the truth about where you are, that is your power move. I want you to let that sink in. The moment that you are honest with yourself about where you are, that's the power move. Because once you understand where you are, you can start creating the path to get to where you want to be. Now, let's talk about it. Budgeting was not easy, but it was necessary. Budgeting built your discipline, it built your awareness, and in the end, it has or will give you clarity, confidence, and control. But budgeting manages what exists, it does not multiply it. Let me say that again. Budgeting only manages what exists in front of you. It does not it doesn't multiply it. And multiplication is what does get you wealth. If your entire financial strategy is reduction, mm, you'll never experience expansion. Okay? So you can only reduce so much. You can only cut so much. You can only trim so much. Where do you start to expand? And that's the difference between budgeting and building wealth. I want you to hear that because a lot of us have been budgeting for so long that we think that's where it is. We think that's how we get there. It's not. Budgeting is maintenance, but wealth building is engineering. And those two things are not the same. So let's talk about the three levels of financial maturity. Level one is awareness. That's where you are when you are budgeting. You begin to get into what's there. But I want you to write these things down and then we'll go into some definition. How about that? Level one is awareness, and that's what budgeting brings. Level two is control. That's where you get your discipline. Level three is expansion. That's the fun part. That's where strategy lies. That's what I love. Okay. And most people will stop at awareness. They think I've got my budget under control. I'm building a little savings. I've cut my expenses. Mm-mm. Some will go on to graduate to control, but very few actually reach engineering expansion. And expansion requires a different version of you. Have you ever heard me say or anyone say that every new step that you take, every advancement that you make requires a different version of you? The current version gets you there. But at the next level, there's a different version that's going to keep you there and then take you further. Building wealth requires income strategy. You do that by design increase. You want me to say that again? Building wealth requires an income strategy. You must design the increase. You have to have system structures in place as money should move through your systems and not our moves. How many moves do we have in the course of a day? Some of us, quite a few. All right. Can you imagine your move, your money can be controlled by that? That's not good for you. It's not good for your strategy. Okay. So we have to have allocation for growth. What does that mean? Every dollar needs a job. And you learn that in budgeting, but so your money, once you get it under control and you're aware of it, now you have to know what your money is doing to multiply and expand. Okay. So every dollar needs a job. And I'm not talking about just for your bills. Simple. Sounds simple, but sometimes the structure of it is what escapes people. All right. So this decision discipline. Do you know that when you don't make a decision, it's still expensive? One of my clients said we have to stop being poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. So when you keep letting those opportunities pass you by, when you don't make a decision, you miss something. And what you miss can be very expensive. Wealth is not accidental, it is very, very structured. Okay. So I want you to think back to the question that I asked you earlier. Are you managing or are you budgeting? It's a very safe space for you to give an honest answer. Let me say this. If you answered that you're managing, that's not failure. Recognizing where you are is the first step in making changes. So if you're managing, it's okay. Say that's what you're doing. It just means it's time to graduate. It's time to graduate and elevate. Building wealth, it requires capacity. You have to have the capacity to earn more, manage more, decide faster, and think long term. Capacity does not come from cutting back, it comes from building forward. And that is the shift. A lot of people look at me when I tell them I'm planning down the line. Okay. And I can look as far as 12 to 15, 18, 24 months ahead because I'm laying a foundation. And in order to get to the end, I need to know what it looks like. So, where do you want your portfolio to look? What do you want it to look like at the end of the year? What is your savings goal for the end of the year? How do you plan to get your money to the point of the X thousands of dollars? Once you know what that end looks like because you built forward, now you know how to get there. So if let's say $10,000 is the annual goal for savings, now you build backwards and each pay period I need to put away this amount of money or each month I need to generate this amount of money in income. Whatever the case may be, there has to be a strategy and a purposeful and willful plan that gets you to what that goal is. Because I want you to know something. We are not increasing by accident. If you're ready to stop paying small, if you're ready to build with intention, if you're ready to move out of survival mode into strategy, and I'm going to stop right there because some of us don't realize that we are in survival mode until someone comes along and says, what you're doing is just struggling to survive. I want you to understand that there is a way that you can stop struggling to survive and actually get into prosperity, get into building, get into strategy mode. You don't have to stay on the struggle bus all the time. And so, what I want you to do, if you are at the point where you are ready to build, you're ready to come out of the survival mode, I want you to join me in the Prosperity Base Camp. That is your foundational place to land to get started. It is not meant for you to stay there. It is meant for you to get your feet wet, to pull yourself up, to get your mind right in a group of women who are saying, I'm no longer going to stay on the struggle bus. I'm not going through the end of this quarter without a complete strategy for what I want to do for the rest of 2026. Now, if you are that person who said you are managing, you need to be in the base camp. But if you're not sure where you are, I want you to reach out to me so that we can set some time aside to actually talk about that. You can reach me at podcast at wealthywomenlifestyle.com. I'll give you a moment so you can write that down. I did not create the prosperity tables for me and me alone. I created it for us as a space for women who are serious about building wealth. We've been budgeting for quite some time, and now it's time to step out of that and move forward. So if you're not sure where you land, let's talk about it. But if you know you're ready to take that first step and just don't want to do it alone, then the Prosperity Base Camp is where you join me and other women that are moving their feet forward. Now, I'm telling you, you don't stay in base camp long. It is the foundation for the full Prosperity Academy. Okay? It's the entry point. It's where you start getting the structure, the discipline, the clarity, and the execution. And if you need more information, if you need more than a foundation, let me say that. I do want you to reach out to me because I want to make sure you got the right seat at the table. It's a bunch of us at the table. It is a lot of healthy women that are having a good time, that are living their life, that are building the life that they want. But a lot of us eat a different meal. I want to know, what are you doing? I came into 2026 saying that this was a season of increase. And so let me tell you what I did. In 2025, I prepared the table. I started putting things and people in their proper place. Okay. That was a work. That was a year-long work. And when I came into 2026, people in their right place, I had the right place setting. The forks were in the right place, the salad fork, the dinner fork, the spoon, the cup, all of the things, the placemat, everything. The Wealthy Women Lifestyle signed its first corporate contract after clearing out the things that needed to be placed somewhere else. And we are in the works for our second one. This is the year of increase, and I don't go along. All right. I don't go alone. I make it where other women can come along with me. And if you need that type of environment, I invite you to join us every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Have a seat at the table and let's get a lesson that's going to move us forward. But if you want some more and direct contact, then you join us over at the base camp. If you're not sure how to do things or where you need to be, then you send me an email. They'll make sure that I get it so that we can set some time aside. I want you to understand that this table is set where we can all eat. As long as you are that woman who wants some strategy. Now, fellas, the lessons are for you too. Don't get me wrong. There's food at the table for you too. And I hope to see you guys every Thursday night. But let me also add, there's prosperity shift that has to be done. We talk about that on Friday. On Monday, you're going to hear me talk about being in alignment, because your alignment with your goals and what you're trying to do in that strategy, it has to come together. So you talk about the shift on Friday, you hear about the alignment on Monday, and on Wednesday, you're going to actually get the systems to help you bring it all together. And then on Thursday night, we come back to the table to see what we've done for the past week and look forward as to where we're going. If that's not strategy, I don't know what is. I am the Nicole Johnson, and I look forward to seeing you again next Thursday at the Prosperity Table.